All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to get into in a very short amount of time with AMC stock. AMC is now on the threshold securities list here today. And what does that mean for AMC? Does it get us closer to a short squeeze? I think that's the ultimate question that we will answer here in this video. And with that, the cost to borrow rates are now over 1,000%. So we have a lot to get into, guys. We are also going to talk about the jobs report that came in very hot today. So let's get into all of this information. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section if you have not already. Hit that subscribe button. So let's get into it, guys. AMC on a technical basis is at a very important level, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes here, but I want to get into some of the more important details, and we're going to start with the jobs report so we can focus on AMC a little bit more in this video. So you did see the payrolls go up by about 500,000 jobs, and you were not expecting that. You were expecting like 190. So it was a big beat. And where you've seen the most jobs added was leisure hospitality at 128,000, professional business services at 82,000, government at 74,000, healthcare at 58,000, retail trade at 30,000, construction 25,000, transportation plus warehousing 23,000, social assistance at 21,000, and manufacturing at 19,000. So you're seeing a lot of jobs being added. I think it really begs the question of how is this even possible? Is this like real data or not? Or are they like counting someone that is getting a part-time job, or working a day or two at a new job and then quitting, right? How is it actually being calculated? I think is going to be a big question in investors' minds later throughout this year. But as of right now, I would say that's a positive thing, that jobs are still coming in high as inflation is coming down, as the Fed is easing quite a bit, or at least starting to. Financial conditions are at the same level they were at in February of 2022, really before the Fed started raising rates at all. So, I mean, that's why the markets are rallying, right? That's why bond yields have been falling. So there is that, and that is really the big thing affecting the markets, as well as you had bad earnings from Amazon, Google, and Apple last night. These stocks are still pretty mixed. Amazon down about 8%, Google down 3%, but Apple is up almost 3%, and I would argue Apple had the worst earnings out of all of them. So you're very much still in a very wonky market. The S&P 500 itself is down over 1% here today. So there is that. Let's get into the situation with AMC, guys. So we're going to take a look at the cost to borrow rates right now. So AMC's cost to borrow max is 1,001%. You're finally over that 1,000% mark. Anytime that you have gotten over 1,000%, really in any stock that we've monitored that have been short squeeze trades in the past, every time it's got over 1,000%, you've seen a short squeeze. And the threshold securities list. Anytime a stock gets on the threshold securities list, that means a couple things, but it means guaranteed buying is coming. That's the long story short, and that the stock is really hard to borrow at that point. Now, let's take a look at the actual definition of a stock being on the threshold securities list. So it says a threshold list, known as a regulation show threshold securities list, is a list of securities whose transactions failed to clear for 5 consecutive settlement days at a registered clearing agency. And then the question that people also ask, what happens if a stock is on the threshold list for 13 days? A broker-dealer with failure to deliver positions for 13 consecutive settlement days must immediately close out of the fail to deliver position by purchasing shares in the open market. Trading insights. There are several ways to view the threshold list. Some investors consider these stocks as possible short squeezes. Well, I'll be damned. You're seeing all of this information coming together, and I think it ultimately leads to a short squeeze. After all, it's been a very long time since AMC has been on the threshold securities list, and even though the markets are down quite a bit today, the S&P down 1%, the NASDAQ down 1.5%, AMC is doing its thing, up 3.34%. Now, let's also go ahead and take a look at the option flow on AMC stock here today as well. And this is done with option analysis. So you are seeing about 100,000 more puts being placed on the markets today, or at least with AMC stock here today. But you are seeing more calls being bought over the bid price. So you are seeing more puts being placed, but more people are trying to get into calls a lot quicker. And it looks like, if we go down the chain, that $10 strike has a lot more call activity. The $8 strike, the $5 strike, $7 strike, basically everything besides the $2 strike and the $3 strike have a lot more call activity than put activity. It's really the $3 strike and the $2 strike that are holding the heaviest weight, because you've only seen 1.64 thousand calls placed at the $3 strike, but you've seen 159,000 puts placed at the $3 strike. And same thing for the $2 strike, about 1,000 calls that have been placed, and 111,500 puts that have been placed for the same strike. So I think these numbers are very much being skewed, at least I know they are, by the $3 strike and the $2 strike. And if you take those out of the equation, then AMC is looking very bullish as far as the option activity. Now, on a technical basis, you did just get some technical indicators. The price crosses the moving average, as well as a momentum indicator and a commodity channel index CCI indicator. Now, you also did break above our downtrending level of resistance, but the markets have taken a turn from the point that we were at earlier. At one point, the S&P was actually positive on the day. Now it's not. Now it's down 1%. So considering that, I think it's very positive, and it was pretty hard to hold above this downtrending level. Now, I don't think that necessarily means too much, because after all, the first day a stock goes on the threshold securities list is usually not the day that the stock starts to go through a short squeeze or starts to rally. And it's a pretty good sign that you are at these levels still, even considering what is happening here in the markets. If you take a look, you did get rejected at the 100-day moving average and the downtrending level. Historically, this is pretty common for AMC to do, and then to subsequently break out above these levels and to hold these levels after that. You guys can see this perfectly with the 50-day moving average back here in November. You've seen some good days heading into this moving average. You got rejected at the close of November 11. That's 11/11. Make a wish, guys. And then you did gap up the next day above that. So this is pretty indicative of what AMC tends to do. Long story short, if we do get a bullish start to the week next week, you're going to be in a very good looking technical place. And considering we're now on the threshold securities list, the cost to borrow max is at 1,000%. I think it looks better than not. Now, the estimated short interest of free float is at 22.73%, 117 million shares that are currently sold short. And from Interactive Brokers, guess what? We did get an update here today, or we are getting updates here today, I should say. 412% cost to borrow numbers from Interactive Brokers. That's in line with the cost to borrow average that you're seeing from Ortex at 497%. Cost to borrow minimum at a measly 7.26%. So looking pretty damn good, guys. As far as the option activity and the interesting flow sentiment from Ortex, 198 orders have been placed on AMC, totaling almost $22 million, positive order value of 17%. So when you boil this all down, I think it leads to a rally. I think it leads to a short squeeze, especially since I think earnings will be very bullish for AMC, because there's going to be good things to say compared to 2022. And even if the earnings are good in Q4, then what are they going to look like throughout 2023 when there's going to be more movies going into theaters, less COVID procedures worldwide? I got to be bullish. I got to be bullish, guys. That's going to be it for this video. Not too much else to actually say. situation looks really damn good right now. That's it. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your weekends because we're going to have a crazy week next week as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.